Wait, where's Alex? Welcome to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Jeff Doss, and we have our special guest host, Angel Diaz. What's up, my friend? How are you?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, good. And we have a special guest with us tonight, fresh off her win from Ozarks, Jaden to it. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I almost got a little lost there. I got used to everything, but hope you guys are doing well. We, again, as you guys know, all the insiders, we're sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour, and they have a big show coming up next month. Yeah, next month, the end of August, August 26th is the Battle of the Dojos. So it's going to be a big experience. 8 dojos from that New York kind of northeast area, and it's going to be an awesome time. Do you know any of the dojos up there that because there's not just in New York, there's some in Connecticut too, right, Angel?
Yeah, so Herbie Bagwell's dojo is gonna be there. That's about I want to say maybe like 15 minutes away from me.
Okay.
So he'll be there, and then all the New York dojos I know. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm actually excited to see that. I'm probably gonna be there live in the building for that one. And I'm interested to see what the format's gonna be, man. As we know, some of the best shows on VFT have been like the junior fights, the underbelt fights. Like when those kids get in the cage, they actually like go all out. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So Jaden, have you haven't been in a virtual fight tour, have you? But your sister?
No, I haven't. Yeah, it was my sister.
Okay. All right. So what was that like though, seeing your sister in there and being more like a spectator?
I can honestly say that was probably the most stressful moment of my life because I wasn't there. The only time she's ever fought, and I wasn't there. So I was just sitting in my dorm room watching, and I was so stressed out. Like, it's one thing to be stressed out for yourself when you're competing, but like for your sister, your younger sister, your baby sister, when you're not there to support her in person, like there's nothing like that. Just wanting her to do the best that she can and just wanting her to achieve the things that she went there to do. So.
Right. Yeah. I remember actually watching her, and I was driving home, and so I pulled over the side of the road to watch, and then I went inside to like an Arby's or something, and just sat down there like, "Hey, sir, you need to pay for something." So I had to buy something and to finish watching it. But yeah, it was pretty funny. That's how it is, man. And it's like, it's not very safe I don't suggest people to drive and watch VFT. So pull over, okay? Go to a rest area. All right.
Yeah. Before this gets blasted out, that Jeff says to watch TV and drive. That's not what we're saying at all. That's not.
Just VFT. I'm just kidding. Oh man. So that's what's coming up for VFT. Us three actually all just got back from Ozark Mountain Nationals, OMN. This was your second time, right, Angel?
Yes, this was my second time going there. My first time going not as a competitor, but it was my second time. And gotta say, man, good things. Shouts out to Richard Osborne Jr. He's doing great things over there in the Midwest.
He's doing amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Insiders, make sure you let us know who's watching, who is in the right in the chat, and if you were at Ozarks, make sure you comment with just all your positive feedback as well. And this was my first time, and Jaden, yours as well, right?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and get into Jaden. Jaden, you had a great weekend. You worked. I know you said it was weird too because you were only competing on Saturday, right? And so you were there on Friday.
That's never happened for me before.
Yeah. Right. And so Saturday
on Friday.
Yeah, you're coaching on Friday, and we'll get into some of that as well. And Saturday doing the division. Honestly, I didn't even know you had started yet, and everything was just running so smooth. Actually, Saturday, and all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, hey, we're ready. Let's go. We're going to go women's fighting." So, explain just your division and how that was set up at this tournament different than the others.
So we started off doing the lightweight fighting. I had just finished coaching, ran over, changed, started fighting without warming up. And I fought my first 2 fights, and we got all the way down to the first and second place match, which we did later on at the night show. I got yelled at for my first fight because it was not great. Angel had lots to say. And then we moved on to our next fight after that, and I kind of pulled it together. Avery and I fought on stage for the first and second place match, which was our semifinal fight.
So you were fighting Avery Sutter for first and second. The way they set it up was to have four females in the finals. They did the 35 plus against the let's say the lightweight winner, and then then we had the first and second place for the super lightweight division, right? So, and that was, I don't remember the lady's name who fought Brianna Nurse, but Brianna Nurse won that one and moved on. She also won the open weight division over Avery Sutter on Friday night. So she was coming in off some wins, and you guys went against each other in the final. So explain that feeling going into it. And again, in your mindset too, you probably are thinking, hey, I'm going to fight Brianna, but you can't like skip over someone, right? So explain that feeling for some people that maybe haven't had that, that feeling before.
Well, like you said, it was definitely a thought that it was going to be me and Brianna at the end. So we had a game plan in mind, but I don't ever like separate myself from, okay, well, there's other people in the division. I keep those people in mind as well. But going into the fight with Brianna, we had a game plan, and I just kind of try to stick to that as closely as possible. I fought her 2 other times this year, so I was just remembering what it was like fighting her then, just remembering the mistakes I made then and trying to make an adjustment for it in that fight because, it was my first time being on stage in a while, and I wanted to make sure that I had a performance that I could be happy with.
Right. And it was a close one, it was, it went down to tied and sudden death, right? And honestly, though, like a smart fight by both you guys, not anyone trying to go crazy, but you trying to play your game and execute it to the best of your ability, and you did, by having not just strong sidekicks, but if anyone hasn't sparred or trained with Jaden, she has some of the strongest sidekicks there are, but also precise too, right? And that's something that people, if they want to know more about you, that is one of your things. So explain that feeling of getting down to the end, close to the end of the match, and then pulling off the victory.
Yeah. Well, I got hurt pretty early on in the fight.
Oh yeah.
And once I got through that, it was honestly just me staying calm and trying to get through the fight, trying to take it one point at a time. And as it was winding down, I tied up the score, and then I started getting ahead, and I think I was up by 1 in the last few seconds, and then she tied it up. Yeah. And in that moment, it was mostly me trying to remind myself, okay, you know what to do in this moment. There's nothing here that isn't in your control. Just got to go. Like we say at the school, champions go, which Angel was yelling at me as I was fighting. So as we're in overtime, I was honestly just trying to remind myself, it's time to go, time to get that point, and try not to hesitate as I'm, sitting there we're both trying to get that last point to get the win.
Right. Now, the last time that you were, I guess, on stage was Battle of Atlanta, right? I would say probably. Am I missing something? As far as a big win, right? It was Battle of Atlanta for teams. Mm-hmm. And it was actually against these people as well, right? Was it?
Yeah, it was Brianna Nurse and
Tahira. Yeah. So interesting how that has worked, right? So far, your 2 big wins on stage have been against Brianna. So again, a little bit of a rivalry there, but and which I think we are seeing so much and a lot of amazing young female fighters coming out this year and over the past 2 years, really, and just lighting up the tournament circuit up. I know we've talked a lot over the past year just of how amazing the female division has been on our show. What are some of the things that you've thought about as far as in that female division, as you as a person trying to make a name for yourself? What are some of the things that you think about?
I guess I would say I look a lot at the other women that I'm fighting against and what strengths they have that I like, that I can build on for myself. Like a lot of women are kickers. So it's like, what is it that I need to be different about the way that I kick so that when I'm kicking, it works out in my favor in my division. And it's honestly been really interesting seeing all of the women that are moving up in age. They move from the juniors to the women's division, and seeing how they've kind of taken over in their respective divisions, and seeing how their style of fighting works in the division. So I can kind of build myself up, work on my different skills as it relates to fighting with those people. So it's just been really interesting kind of looking at those things and building myself and growing in my skill set. So
nice. Awesome. Good stuff. Angel, you got anything to add about this situation, this moment? Sorry, situation.
I could tell you guys from like my point of view. I want to give a big shout out to Avery and to Brianna. Avery fought really good during the daytime eliminations, and I remember just when we were getting ready to coach Jaden to go on stage, I just kept telling Jaden, like, you got to be on point. You got to be on point, because Avery is like, we've seen Avery. She actually won Ozark Mountain Nationals last year. So, there's a tournament she was coming back to try and be a back-to-back champion. And then I've been lucky enough that I've been able to coach Jay with a lot of her fights, and a lot of them have been against Brianna. And Brianna beat Jaden like the same way at Ozark in overtime at Starcade. It was like overtime, same exact, like pretty much like the same exact style that it was at Ozark. It was the same thing at Starcade, and it was a different outcome. And I will say, man, like, it's just the women's division is so talented. It's honestly crazy. Yeah. Like I said this to okay, Jim Fish. I knew this was gonna come up. Okay, I'll tell that story. I'll tell that story later. Thanks, Jeff. I will say, man, I said it at Battle to some of you, like Travis and Alex and some of you guys. Battle was the first time I competed that I didn't do my own division, so I just got a chance to watch the women's division, and it's crazy how talented the women's division is. I'm saying for every single division, you can't just say like, oh, this one person is probably going to win. There's all been times that we could look at divisions and we could probably say like, oh, so-and-so is probably going to come out on top. Now it's like all the divisions are stacked. That's like actually something I talked about with Avery Sutter at Ozark. I was just telling her, like, I remember seeing her at Battle, and Avery was like on a roll at Battle. Like she was like running through open weight and her division. Like she was winning fights. She was getting up. And I was telling Avery, it's kind of crazy how like you look in like just Avery's division of super lightweight, like all the girls there have either won an overall grand championship or have fought on stage for an overall grand championship. And that's just in like one division. So that was just crazy. And then just like I said, man, like just sitting there watching Jaden, I get a heart attack coaching because it's a little bit more personal to me, I'm sure. So like, and then also, we train at the school together. We train at Sean Elliott's. We train with Sean and Gina Thornton. So it's like trying to know all the stuff that they work on us with, and then trying to like say it in the moment. So but besides that, man, like say it the way it needs to, and just like honestly, I think the biggest thing as the coach sitting there, I kind of get worried. I'm like, I hope I don't say the wrong thing. And I don't mess up, but
especially on stage,
of that,
it's different, right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because it's on stage. And hey, shouts out to Richard Osborne because giving him giving a $2,000 overall. I said it to Jaden after. In a way, it was kind of like a history-making moment because not many people are giving that much for one overall. That's kind of like an old school type of overall grand championship. So, knowing the magnitude of the moment, I'm just like, please just say the right thing. So that's just how I felt. But yeah, awesome. Man, besides that, man, like Jaden did all the work. Jaden did awesome. And, I'm proud of you. So you don't need to hear me say that anymore.
Awesome. Well, so how did you celebrate the $2,000 win?
We went out to Buffalo Wild Wings after, like we always do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to say a quick thing, man. I said after Jaden got done and she's like limping because she could barely walk, I looked at her and I said, I'm proud of you. I was like, you get to go get Buffalo Wild Wings. You would have thought she won another overall grand. Like her smile was from ear to ear. Like I never seen someone get so happy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. So that's how we celebrated it, man.
I'm only allowed to go when I'm with you.
Yeah. So it was
every time I get to go. So, I was happy.
Oh man, this is good stuff. All right. So let's get into some other things about the event. As from all three of our perspectives, Jaden was a coach as well as a competitor. I was a competitor mostly and sometimes videographer for the weekend. And Angel was a coach and, yes, judge for the weekend. So let's get into Angel's judge because he won't stop talking about this award that Richard and people voted for him to have. So, so one of the cool things that Richard does, is give like a judge's MVP award. And he had some extras that he gave for, the finalists over there. I'm just kidding. You got fourth place. All right, bud. I'm just kidding. I mean. All right. So.
I'm sorry, man. I just wasn't expecting you to say that. Oh, man.
All right. So Angel had a lot of fun judging. And he made a lot of people happy as well as laugh all weekend. So, explain just the judging experience and what you liked about it.
I will say, man. So, like, I went there just for make sure it's clear. Like, I was not expecting to get a judge's award. Jeff and Jaden will probably tell you I wasn't going there to judge. Like, I did not go there to do nothing else but film for Martial Arts Center Network and coach Jaden. That is my only job when I went out there. Right. But I will say the way the judging thing came about was because Jaden was just there to coach on Friday. A lot of her teammates were in one of the rings, so the ring wasn't really going that much just because they didn't have enough judges at that one time. And I just said, if anyone needs me, just let me know. I'll step in, no problem. I'll be honest. I thought I was going to step in really quick and then be right out. Yeah. But I was able to step in. I ended up stepping in for 15 to 17 open rank. Which is basically open weight fighting.
Right.
Then we did 15 to 17 continuous fighting, and then it was team fights. Underbelt team fights. Yeah, junior team fights. So I ended up doing that. I will say, man, not only do I want to give a big shout out to Richard Osborne, but to Terry Kramer and Sierra Johnson. They were the coordinators of the event, and I'm honest, man. Like, I haven't really seen coordinators on top of judges and just rules the way they were. They were very on point. You very rarely ever saw a ring that was just stalled. If it was ever stalled or there was no activity in the ring, it was only because the next time slot didn't come up. They finished earlier than they were supposed to. So correct. I just want to give a very big shout out to them. And then when it comes to judging, as I told everybody all weekend, I'm the competitor. I'm the fighter. There's things that we all like and we dislike as a competitor when it comes to judging. I try to make it where when I'm in the ring, it's just nothing but fairness. And like I said, man, as a competitor, we just want fairness and respect. That's really it. So I had an awesome time judging. I was able to judge with amazing judges throughout the whole weekend. Then I was able to go into the adult black belt division and judge there. And I was able to judge for that division with Anthony Price and Troy Whaley and Charles Garrett. Carrie Garrett was the scorekeeper, it was like an amazing group. We were all just rocking and rolling. Even Noreen Price got in with us and was judging, and it's like never skipped a beat. It was just moving. So I gotta say, man, to all the judging out there, to all the judges, like it was great. And then on the other side of it, I want to give a big shout out to Richard, not just for the award on myself, but just for all the judges. I think more tournaments should do that, honestly. And he started the show. He started the show with, just giving the judges their respect, their just due. And then the night show was able to still go on. It didn't take nothing but 5 minutes. But as crazy as people don't know, just being recognized is sometimes good enough. Like that's sometimes all we want. So like I said, I wasn't expecting it. And I'm just happy that I was able just to make a positive impact on just, not just the tournament, not just the sport, but the sport karate community. But I really suggest a lot of promoters to take that time and just appreciate those judges that go out there, go out of their way, help run the event. Because like I said, I didn't have to. I could easily said, no, I'm okay. But I was just happy just to help. And it ended up turning out to be a great thing for just everybody involved. So the judging experience was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, what was crazy was that I went there and to compete, but also like to judge, to help with anything that he needed me to. And every time I asked, they was like, you're good. You're good. Because everything was set up. It was great. It was a great experience. And Richard been trying to get me out there for a long time. So I'm excited and felt just welcome to be there. I thought that it was cool to see that he had coordinators, some tournaments don't do that, especially tournaments that aren't like a world tournament. So it's cool to see that. And, overall, I thought the judging was great. It was consistent. And, man, it just ran on time. We finished by 2:15 on Saturday, which was awesome, right?
Super early. Super early.
Had plenty of time for the finals to start at 7, and everything was prepared. And I didn't feel like even as a competitor getting to where I needed to on Friday night on Saturday night, I didn't feel rushed or anything like that. Like, oh man, we haven't checked in yet. Oh man, this. So it was great setup. The night show was set up great. And, there was only one time where I think that they didn't have the judges in place, right? And the reason why was because 2 of the judges that were just there had students in the next grand. So but they had it great to switch back and forth. Overall, I thought it was a great time. And just as far as setting the judges up, he did a great job. Richard has done this for years for other people. So it's cool to see others do that for him. So
no, definitely. And the last thing I just want to say is also the one good thing I also saw that I think a lot of people should also take into consideration and should probably follow. Richard had at least 4 medics on hand. So there was more than enough medics to get to any ring, any situation. And that was one thing that was really good, man. I was really happy to see that just because, there were some injuries that happened throughout the weekend. So it was just good just to see that medics were attentive and on hand, didn't take them a long time to get to the ring. So that was really good.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you guys say about that experience as far as judging, or go right into your competitor experience there, Jaden?
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say the tournament ran so well. Like, I don't think I've ever been to a tournament where I got out at 2:00 on a Saturday. I don't think that's ever happened for me. Everything ran according to schedule. At the time that was printed out for the divisions to start exactly then. And it made it so easy to be there for all of my kids on Heartland South, help them get ready beforehand. And then being there for them while they're fighting in their divisions. Like, it made it so easy. I loved being at this tournament. It was a really great experience. And it was especially great for our fighters on our team, getting the chance to go to a tournament that's just well run, and then them getting all the fights in that they wanted for the weekend. And as a competitor, it was a really great one for me to, like, one, I get to sit in the coach's seat all day Friday, so I can kind of get myself mentally ready for Saturday. And I, although I was coaching a little bit Saturday morning, I got to my divisions on later on in the day, and it just ran so smoothly that it kind of made everything easy. When you have difficult judging or things aren't running on time, you have a hard time figuring out when to eat, when to warm up. You warm up and then you get cold, and we didn't really have that issue at all this weekend.
Right.
Yeah, so everything
Right.
was really smooth, like on the coordinating side and on the judges' side. So it just made my job as a competitor and as a coach so much easier. Especially like going into the night show, everything ran perfectly. They lined us up at the beginning, telling us the order of when we go. I mean, ran exactly according to that order. And it just went so smoothly that I knew when I was going, I knew when to get ready, when to eat, and all of that. And it really helped me out as a competitor, because there's some tournaments where I can't know what's going on as well as I could with this one.
Right. Yeah, dude. I was done before 9:00 on Saturday. Okay, with my division.
I thought. Listen, so, Jeff, when you got Jeff done, I think I even asked you. I said, "Nah, stop joking. What else do you have to go?" Like, I thought you were lying.
Yeah.
Like, you thought I was lying. You finished so quickly.
Like, hey, when you go, like you got there after I already finished, like on Saturday.
Yeah,
I think.
It was crazy.
And so it was funny. And then Friday I started at 2:00 with the Korean Challenge. Yeah, Wesley, you're right. She did an amazing job coaching. Army strong.
Army strong.
Army strong. So we did the Korean Challenge at 2:00. Finished that probably maybe right before 3:00.
Yeah, like 2:45.
Yeah, so we had 8 in the men's Korean Challenge. And then we did 2 rounds, so a little different than how we did the battle. The top 3 moved on and had to do a different form. And so I did that. I won that, had some great competition and different competition. Actually, I think completely different competition from what I had at battle and at other ones.
Yeah,
so
nobody there was at battle.
They were there in the regular division, but not in the Korean Challenge.
The Korean Challenge,
like
yeah.
Like Matt Boyer and Dominic.
So
was a great time competing in that. Charles Garrett did a great job centering that and running that, and I think that's become his favorite division now. He wants to see that at everyone.
Yeah.
So we had a good time with that. The other thing is, what did I start? I think musical weapons. I think it was supposed to start 4. I think that ring actually started a little earlier, like 3:30, 3:45.
Yeah.
I was done by 4:30, and again, done for the night early, and just got to watch, And so it was a really cool experience doing that. Getting lots of love there, Jaden. Armstrong.
Armstrong. Another day at the office.
Another day at the office.
Another day at the office. All right. Sorry, we just laughed about. We have a little. I guess it's not inside joke anymore.
It's not an inside joke because he's so damn loud. That's why.
He is loud. We're talking about Wesley Lawrence. If you guys don't know, if you haven't heard him at a tournament yet, just wait.
You will.
Yeah, you will.
You will. You'll hear him. So the competitor experience for me was great. I felt and again, like this is way out of our area of where we live,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Missouri since 2002 for the Tornado Internationals, which is an old school NBL tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
That was Lakers tournament. Okay. Before they merged with AmeriKick. So lots of different people I hadn't competed against with in years, or even seen in years that I hadn't seen since I was like 17 or whatever. So some people I didn't recognize. So if I looked like I didn't know who you were, I apologize. It's been a while, but it was nice meeting you. So was a fun event. As far as overall with the finals, for me, my competitor experience was great. I competed in the traditional grand and then competed in the open grand or whatever, CMX grand. I still say open. But I felt good with that. Congrats to Diego for winning the traditional grand, and to Ben Jones for winning the open grand for the men. For the women, Kira Jones won the women's traditional grand. So I don't think there was an open grand for the female. I don't think there were competitors for that. So St. Louis was cool. I mean, honestly, getting to have some of the so this is what I did after. All right, so Sunday I go by myself to the Arc, all right, to Arch, to see the Arch, right? And the thing is, though, I'm at the hotel. I have to check out the hotel. So I had my big old Revolution bag in like downtown St. Louis walking around, and it's like 90 degrees. It's heavy. It's probably like 40 pounds on my back. And I'm trying to go into the Arts Museum. So I'm walking around the museum with like a huge duffel bag. It looks like I killed somebody and put it in my bag. All right. And I saw a couple competitors there and family people. So it was hot. But then, my Uber driver is getting me worried. Like, man, I don't know. Can you see no one's down here right now? It's dangerous downtown St. Louis. I'm like, oh, man, quit that. So it was great. I felt safe. But I had to walk from like trying to find places to eat. And, it took me a little bit longer. I took my time because, walking around with that bag on my back was a little rough. But other than that, it was a cool experience. I suggest everyone to go to the Arch, the Gateway Arch. And the museum there is really cool because you really get an understanding of just the culture of the area, things that go all the way back to like the early 1600s all the way into now. And so I like that stuff. I suggest that for all the people when you go to tournaments, go and try to do something fun or historical or a learning experience. And it was cool to see several of the either the judges or the parents and their competitors, their kids going and doing that as well. So that was cool. Food wise, well, we had B-dubs. So, that's not really any different.
Yeah, B-dubs. We had Chick-fil-A. We had IHOP. We had the Corner Pub and Grill.
But no, that was the only like local place we went to.
Yeah,
right?
for real though.
Now, I got the custard. Okay, I got the frozen custard.
And you got the thing from the concession stand. What was it?
Oh, toasted ravioli apparently was invented in St. Louis. I did not know that. So every place had toasted ravioli, and I love toasted ravioli, so it was great. And then, on Sunday, I had this place called Kimchi Guys, and it was really good. Really good. So lots of good food there, lots of good stuff. I didn't get to eat the pizza that everyone said I needed to eat. So that'll be next time. Save it out for next time. Yeah. No, I did not eat bacon. Stop that, Lee. I did not eat bacon on Emo's pizza because I didn't eat it. I set it there for other people, okay? Brandon Osborne was nice enough to give me his pizza, but he didn't know that I don't eat bacon. So, all right. All right. So what were some moments that you guys I'm just putting top 10, but whatever. For me, I'm going to go with Friday night, the fighting, and they're supposed to do Kentucky versus Missouri senior teams, right? But not everyone can make it for Kentucky. So we got to see Richard Osborne Sr., who is 69 years old, fighting with Marty Eubanks, who's, I think he's 59, going against two other competitors that were from Richard Osborne's, like his students, right? And they're all in their late 50s and 60s. This was so much fun, all right? Hilarious, but fun. On stage, watching them go at it. Marty Eubanks tries a cartwheel kick. All right. It was wild. You did not get to see this because you were over there judging the teams. That was fun. And then the next day, watching the division was even more fun, okay? I can't wait to put that video out. I wish that we could have done like a Be Real thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
And watch me film it in my face because I was like this the whole time. Like laughing, and everyone was just looking at me like saying like, dude, Jeff, calm down. But it was hilarious. It was just fun, seeing these guys fight each other, get into it, punch each other hard, and laugh about it. It's great, like that's the old school era, right? And we don't see that sometimes now. Like we see people getting mad too much or whatever, and they're like, oh, hit me harder, and like it was fun. So definitely shout out to those guys. That's something that I wanted, I'm 39 and people still think, why are you still competing? I want to compete till I'm in my 70s, why not? That would be fun. Let's go. Yeah, they do
Yeah.
hit hard.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Go
What
ahead.
was one of your moments?
Go ahead, Jaden. I'll go last.
Um, I think one of my favorite moments was watching the junior boys do teams.
Oh
It
yeah,
was, yeah, so that was the first time that our three boys from Heartland South did teams together. So it was really amazing watching them together for the first time. You know, they're bonding together, being just excited to get the chance to fight beside one another. That was really amazing for me as a coach and then as their teammate. And then also getting to see how excited all of the other teams were in their fight. The last, I think it was the third place fight, got really intense. Came down to the last point in overtime. So yeah, that was really awesome to watch. The kids being really excited and just doing the best they can for their team. So yeah, definitely a top moment for me.
that was definitely cool. Definitely cool. Also, we saw Richard Osborne Sr. He was saying thanks for the shout out. I got to compete against him in the Korean Challenge as well, which is cool. All right. And listen, he comes out with the red, white, and blue uniform. Like we all want that. That old school uniform. I love it. So, all right. Angel, what you got for me?
Uh, I had a few moments. When it comes to the senior fighting, man, seeing Rob Wisdom from Terry Kramer School, that man,
Yeah, that
that
dude. Yeah,
guy.
awesome.
Listen, that guy. You got to see some pretty high IQ fighting, man. Like simple basics, showing why it still works. Some
Yeah.
nice, some
Love his
nice reverse
Love
punches.
his reverse
Yeah,
punches. Yeah.
that reverse punch, that ridge hand, that was something different.
Yeah.
Another top moment. I want to make sure this dude gets a shout out, man, because I got to see him for the first time, and I know I talked about Avery Sutter. I want to talk about Colin from
Yes. Yes.
Duvris, and I said it. Dawn Gorham, Chris Gorham, the Gorhams, like she has that team looking good, and
Yep.
I cannot
Big
wait
time.
to see their progression moving forward. Like Colin
Yeah.
fought amazing. Colin fought amazing.
Yeah, that was something I was wanting to talk about as well. You're right, man.
Yeah, like he fought amazing, man. Lost in his division by 1 to Kevin Walker. And even Kevin got done and said to us, the judges, like, I didn't expect that. Like it was Colin fought really good, man. So I want to give that guy a big shout out. Give Dawn Gorham a big shout out. She has that team looking real good. And like I said, like their progression with everybody, Lynn, Avery, Colin. I think the girl that fought on stage open weight was Chelsea Clark. I think not Chelsea Clark, but I think that actually something close to her name was like that. I think. If I forgot her name, I'm so sorry. But if you guys want to put in the comments
today, I forgot it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone from the Gorhams is looking really good. So that was a huge shout out. That was a big moment. And then something else that I actually saw that was actually Clara. Thank you, Dawn. Clara. So she did really good. And something else that I thought was a huge, pretty cool thing, man, over there was kind of seeing how underbelt sparring and black belt sparring, there's no real difference when you look at it in the Promac. A lot of the students, a lot of guys there that are underbelts, they compete in the open rank, they compete against the black belts, and they hold their own. And I was like really surprised. I don't really get a chance to see a strong underbelt group in a strong underbelt region like that. So that was something that was a really big shout out. I want to give out also a top moment.
That tournament, all of a sudden, when open rank happened, we were sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden the tournament just filled up, right?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, all right, all these junior fighters, all these adult underbelt fighters. Like, it was cool. Like, it was interesting to see. You're seeing, like, wait a minute, why is Larry Wells fighting a blue belt? Oh, wow, okay, this guy, though, like, is not backing down. This isn't, like, a complete mismatch. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting his licks in so that way he can become, and it's cool because a lot of times, adult underbelts sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, most of the time we think adult underbelts as parents, right? That do it because their kids do it and they're getting in it too late. They'll never, they start too late, but there's a lot of great people who started as adult underbelts as adults and went on to have some success. So was really cool to see that. Was shocking at first, but I was pleasantly surprised with just the effort and how it was, and also even the adult continuous divisions, just how they went hard, man. So lot of fun there, a lot of great fighting. The other thing is shout out to really the forms divisions, like were very tough. You had Team Infinity there. You had a lot of people from Amerikick. You had a lot of people from, let's see, lots of different teams as well. Let's see, Paul Mitchell with Ben. You have, Infinity with Diego. Different people from all over. You had Brett Thomason and his group. There was a big premier squad there.
With Joe Rhodes.
Joe Rhodes had his whole school. So it was great. And overall, just amazing competition. So I mean, again, you look at really the finals, especially for the adult forms. That's pretty much a world tour finals, right? Everybody that was there competes on stage at most of the big tournaments as well. So it was cool to see, and for that area to get to see that as well is a big deal, right? So lots of fun. Also, the stream was amazing. And with commentary and good switches of camera, so they did everything the right way, man. Professional. So it was a lot of fun. I had a fun time performing, and I know Jaden did.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. So definitely cool. Anything else that we should talk about on this, guys?
I think we covered it, man. Like, from top to bottom, it was a solid, well-run event. I mean, we, like how you said, like, you go to media and live stream, it was good. It was great camera angles, good commentary. You go to judging, the judges there were well-trained, top-notch judges. I mean, the same judges you would see at a World Tour event. You look at the competitors, you had World Tour competitors there with the local competitors. And you know what, man? It was cool to see, like, the regional competitors. They still showed out against the national competitors. They got, like, you can see that region has a strong circuit, and it's going to be good. So I think overall, man, we covered everything with the event. It was really good.
Yeah. The other big winners of the 2000 was Kevin Walker, winning that over Jeremy Johnson.
Justin Johnson.
Sorry, Justin Johnson. My bad. Justin Johnson. Yeah. And then also on stage was Larry Wells
and Zach
Winder. Yes. So great competition overall. Here's one shout out too. I got to give a shout out to these three men that did team fighting against Kevin Walker, Larry Wells, and Zach Winder. All these guys were, I believe, 45 and up. All right, maybe right at that 50 range, because one of them I know was in the 50 plus. The other two were in my division, which was 35 to 49. But I know they were in that 45 plus division, and they all three went out there and said, "Hey, we're fighting these guys," and they just had a blast, man. It was fun, just seeing them continue to go and get out there and fight. So, overall, great event. Everything was great, man. I tell everyone, go and support this event next year, and support everything that Richard's doing. So it was great to talk to some of the NASCAR promoters there. One of the things that we've kind of talked about a lot on the show, but was something that I was told about, I'm sure you'll get an email soon, was that there will be junior Korean divisions next year in NASCAR. There will be a rated division, so that's a huge thing. So excited to hear that. And then the other thing that I know is going to finally happen, which is a big deal, is the adult female grands will be separated just like the men's. So traditional and CMX. So those are two big things that are happening. And sorry if I spoiled you sending an email.
I was just about to ask you, Jeff. I was just about to ask you, be like, hey,
listen, these are all things that everyone knows. Everyone's talking
was that off the record, or was that on the record for you to talk about?
Who knows, right? All right. So Uh, anyway,
And
before I get
also,
into
and also, and also, everybody, if you're going to Capital Classics, there's going to be a judging, NASCA certified judging program is about to start up. I saw some posts about that. If you guys might want to get in on that, look into it. I know even as a competitor, sometimes I go to like the judges meeting just so I can know
yeah,
what the rules
what's
are.
going on?
So yeah, so at least it's fair all the way
Exactly.
around. So pretty good.
All right, one question before. So this is kind of a topic that I was thinking about the other day. And actually, I was thinking about this as I was watching you fight. Um, the only difference in this than, like, say, a NASCAR World Tour is that the Grand Championship was a one-round fight, right?
Mhm.
So do you think that is that something that we should probably adopt for everything? Is making the Grand Championship round a two-round fight at regionals, at locals? Is that something that we should push for, or is that something that really isn't a big deal overall?
I kind of like the 2 rounds, just because when it comes to a grand championship fight, it kind of comes down to whoever can make the best adjustments for the second round. And I think that
Right.
can be a really big indicator on who actually won that fight. With 1 round, like, yeah, you see who won best 2 minutes. But when it comes to
Right.
2 rounds, 2 minutes, who can figure out what it is that they were making mistakes on before, figure out what the other fighter was
Right.
doing, and then make changes to it later on. So although it takes a little bit more conditioning to do it, I think it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge,
Yeah.
and I think it requires a little bit more fight IQ than just the 1 round.
Right. Yeah. I kind of go back and forth on it because a lot of times we say, all right, why are we changing the rules, right, for this one moment? Or why are we doing this or that? For the longest time, it would drive us nuts that, hey, for teams, you got to win by 2. Or for this, you got to do this. Oh, wait, you got to do. And it was different rules for everyone. So that was kind of frustrating, right? But that's been all figured out. But I also do think that for a grand champion round, there has to be something a little harder or something different to make it stand out, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of cool. I think that definitely makes it. Yeah, Anthony Price says 2 rounds, and in the old days it was 2 rounds sometimes. Awesome, awesome. Yeah.
I'll be
So
honest. I definitely like from a competitor standpoint, I'll be honest with you, like I like the 2 rounds. I like it. I remember hearing like, you hear like Travis and Chris and all them talk about, like 2 rounds usually decides like the better fighter will usually win a 2 round fight. As
right,
opposed to like a 1 round fight, anything can happen, momentum switches, all those things. But I
yeah,
think the 2 rounds is always good because it works on both sides, man. Like, and I look at it as like from a regional standpoint, right? Like we want to build up the regional competitors. It gets them
they need
prepared to make
prepared,
that
right?
next jump. Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes them prepared to make
yeah,
that next jump.
I,
So I
yeah.
think it's a
I just
big
think it
thing.
needs to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And I think
Yeah,
we've been doing really good over the past, I would say, really 4 years. I've noticed that we're starting to change the rules a lot to catering to what the customers want, which I think is great. So I think now I
yeah,
think doing a 2 rounds universal is really good because then it also makes the sport
yeah,
seem more together. So now I think
yeah.
2 rounds is good, man. I like 2 rounds personally.
I'm only going to say one thing. I'm going to go to the other end of that too. As a spectator or fan, sometimes the 2 rounds can be like,
Don't
it's
get me
almost
wrong.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
almost
I know
like
what you mean.
I'll wait till the second round to watch. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
if
no,
I'm
I
watching
got
on
you.
YouTube, I'll fast forward that first one. You know what I mean? Sometimes, not always, but
Yeah.
So I've just seen that where some have just literally sat there and bounced for 2 minutes. I'm like, come on, really? Come on.
No,
But
yeah, no,
yeah,
I got you. I believe me, I get it because there's more of a like a story that could be told in 1 round.
exactly.
But with the same way, with that being said, like I understand it, but it also like you never know, man. Like comebacks happen all the time. Crazy things happen
Oh
in
yeah.
2 round fights where you could like shut the person out in the first round. It's a 10 point
Oh
spread.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you never know.
Of
So
course.
I
Of
think it's
course.
good, but different things.
Yeah.
But
I
I
just
definitely think two
I just
rounds.
think that's something we got to start asking, or even just I don't say pushing, but just asking our regional promoters to do, so that way it creates just that that good evolution of a fighter in
Yeah.
the regional area to the national area. Yeah, and shout out to the
Oh,
registration team. The truth is, though, Richard, I didn't see him very much because honestly, I went in, I got my stuff, and it was out, and it was so smooth and easy. So,
That's how good they were. That's how good the registration team was. Yeah,
that's right. Ozzy's crew, getting lots of stuff. I'm sorry. Yes, more fighting, less bouncing. I like it there, Anthony. You're right.
AP, man, I love it.
Oh man! All right, so we got just a little bit left to finish up the show. This has been a fun time, just kind of sharing some things. I don't think we're missing anything too much
No.
as far as our weekend, but overall it was a fun time and a good event. All right, do you want to do that last thing the game you want to play?
Oh yeah, I know Jaden don't want to, but we're gonna get on it. I think we should just do for the last 10 minutes. Let's just say if you had to build your perfect fighter, so you could take, let's say if you could be like the blitzing of Jotty or the kicking ability of Pedro,
right.
Like what would your perfect fighter be? I'll start. Like if I had to start off with like kicking ability, I'll probably go with the kicking ability of Mafia. That would be like mine for kicking ability. So I would do the kicking ability of Mafia. And then go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to let Jaden go, but
Yeah, Jaden. Go, Jaden. You should go.
Okay. Well, this one's current, but like for movement, I'm thinking Bailey Murphy for like movement and footwork.
Oh, I like that one. Okay. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. All right. So wait, I can't use. Oh wait, we're trying to make one fighter on all three of us.
No. We could.
Actually, but I can say, are we all making our own fighter? See, you got me.
I thought we were making our own. Oh yeah, we can just do one.
Okay.
We'll do one. That'll be fine.
All right. Well, see, you said kicking Mafia, so I was thinking kicking someone else, but I'll say, power with their kicks. Trevor Nash. So for me, his kicking ability, and honestly, it's evolved as a coach too. If you see how he's taught Katarina and how he's taught other people of his chamber, but you got to remember, like, it's fast and it always hits, but it also always hurts. So it's insane just how he's been able to put it all together, right? So so for me, I would say that ability, I mean that's a different type of kicking ability.
Power. So you would say like the power. When you say like power of the kicks, you would put like Trevor Nash. So I got you.
Yeah, because he's gonna scare the heck out of you from, like, you don't want to get hit with that. You know what I mean? The only other person I can think of that was like that was AP. You know what I mean? Like those guys with that just scariness.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I was gonna say, so my next one, I was actually gonna do, if I had to pick for someone being.
We'll add Simos in there. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say when someone being like mean or aggressive, I was gonna use AP. AP's like aggression. It's like his meanness. I mean, listen, I've trained with the man, so I know I've been on the other side watching it when he does it to me.
Right. All right. What's something else, Jay?
Go ahead, Jay.
Let's see. What else do we need?
So we got footwork. We got movement or footwork of Bailey.
Footwork.
We got the kicking ability of Mafia, the power of Trevor Nash and his kicks. We got the meanness, aggression of Anthony Price. Still got other things we could put in there.
Oh yeah.
You're really missing one. Yo, you're missing one, Jay. Oh God.
I'm trying to decide who I want to do.
Give us your options and pick one.
I know we have too many options.
Well, yeah, there's fight IQ, but yeah.
Yeah.
But we're working our way up, Wesley. We're working our way up.
Yeah.
Army strong.
Let's see. Okay. So
it's just another day at the office.
I think I want to do Raymond for there's a lot of things I could use him for. But Use him for the takeoff, I think.
Takeoff?
Use it for what? His takeoff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, for me, when I see Raymond, I still think of Raymond as like, I still think blitz, right? I still think his blitz, you know what I mean? And so even later on, even he had to adjust it for it, but he still was able to hit people with that takeoff. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree on that. For me, it kind of goes together because it's two things. It's like that calmness, but also that way of being able to continue, like getting down and continuing to go, right? Honestly, I'm going to say two people, but we can put someone else. Fight IQ, I go with Tony Young, but that person that's able to continue to like get down and get back up and stay with their game, I put Chelsea Nash in there because I've seen her get down and continue. I've seen her stick to her game plan no matter what people were doing, go against amazing kickers when she's like half the size of them and still win. So those two to me actually are very similar, even though they come from completely two different eras, right?
Yeah.
So it's my show, whatever.
Okay. All right, you can do that. I'll do. All right, since you did that, I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do a back fist.
It's my show.
I'm gonna do a back fist, and then I say like the best back fist to me forever will always be Gerald Dawson. I don't care what no one says.
Right.
I mean, listen, that back fist. What
I
is
love
his
his back
name?
fist too.
What is his name, man? And then I'm gonna put this
last few days.
Listen, man. I watch a lot of Gerald Dawson videos, so that's why. And I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put down clutch. So who has that clutch gene? Where last point you need to get that win. Who's down? Who could sometimes come back and always win it? I know I'm gonna look as a homer, but I'm gonna put Gina Thornton. A lot of her wins have been like 1 point tied overtime, and we always talk about it at the karate school. The lion comes out in that moment, but I'm gonna put Gina Thornton for that clutch drill. That clutch gene, no one wanted to be across from her when she was on that wave. Go ahead, Jay.
She's why we have the champions go.
Yeah, she's why we have that champions go saying. Yeah.
Definitely Gina for that one.
Yeah.
All right. We got less than 2 minutes.
Go
give
Jay.
me one.
Right. I guess I would also put in for a back kick, do Jack Felton.
That's good.
One of the best key sides. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Jeff.
I'm trying to see reverse punch is hard, especially now because there's different types that I like, right?
It is.
And there's different styles. There's ones that I feel like are always gonna hit no matter what. And then there's ones that I just like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to say reverse punch without Richard Plowden. But I also, for me, growing up, I was a fan of watching Russ Taylor take off on everyone with a reverse punch that was so fast that people didn't even see it. Like sometimes he hit people and the judges didn't even see it, but the competitor felt it. Like that's what was crazy.
Yeah.
It was just so fast. So yeah, but I'm still gonna go with Richard Plowden's reverse punch. So
okay, that's good. I think my last one, if I had to look at conditioning, and I'm gonna honestly, I'll even put in fight IQ, but mainly conditioning is Damon Gilbert. That guy, listen, man, I don't. If you look at any videos of Damon Gilbert, he never got tired. He never got tired. Never once was exhausted. I mean, geez, the guy's a menace. Like I always say, man, Damon Gilbert's a first ballot on mine. So,
yeah. All right. So that was fun. I'm trying to get out of here before we got 11 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Jaden. Thank you, Angel, for joining us. We will be back next week. This was a lot of fun. See you guys next week. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop. And we have Manny Reyes Jr. next week, and we went over it, but it's all good. See you guys. Thank y'all so much.
See you.